All right, let's dive into a topic that can be incredibly frustrating for so many people: stubborn belly fat. If you've ever felt like you're fighting a losing battle, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to cut through all the noise and look at what the actual science says really, truly works.
Does this sound familiar? You're eating clean, you're working out, you feel like you're doing everything right, but that fat around your middle just won't budge. Well, there are very real scientific reasons for that, and once you understand them, that's when you can finally start seeing real results.
So, first things first, before we can talk about losing belly fat, we have to understand what it actually is. Because, and this is super important, not all belly fat is created equal. This one distinction is critical.
Okay, let's just get the biggest myth out of the way immediately. You cannot spot reduce fat. Doing 1,000 crunches will not burn fat off your stomach. It's just physiologically impossible to pick and choose where your body burns fat from. When you lose fat, you lose it from all over.
You see, belly fat really comes in two main types. The first is subcutaneous fat. That's the stuff right under your skin. It's the fat you can actually pinch. But the second type, visceral fat, that's the hidden danger. It's stored deep inside, wrapped around your vital organs. This type is metabolically active and linked to some serious health problems. So our goal isn't just about looking better, it's about getting healthier by reducing this dangerous internal fat.
So if you can't just crunch it away, how do you lose it? Well, it all starts with the single most important factor, and that's your diet. This is the absolute foundation of all fat loss.
And the bedrock of that foundation is something called a caloric deficit. It's a simple concept. You have to consistently eat fewer calories than your body is burning for energy. That's it. Without this principle in place, literally nothing else will work for fat loss.
So, what's the best diet to create that deficit? Well, a really fascinating study from Johns Hopkins compared two groups on diets with the exact same number of calories. One group ate low-fat, the other ate low-carb. And check this out. After 6 months, the low-carb group lost, on average, 10 pounds more than the low-fat group. This suggests that the type of calories you eat can actually matter, not just the raw number.
But here's the real bottom line. The best diet isn't necessarily low-carb or low-fat or keto or anything else. The best diet is the healthy eating plan that you can actually be consistent with. Sustainability is everything. It's way more important than trying to be perfect for a week or two.
Now, no matter what plan you choose, you've got to focus on two power players. Number one, protein. It's essential for holding on to your muscle while you lose fat, which keeps your metabolism humming. And number two, fiber. Fiber makes you feel full and satisfied, which makes staying in that calorie deficit a whole lot easier.
If you want a specific number to shoot for, a great target for protein, backed by experts like Alan Aragon, is around 1.6 grams for every kilogram of your body weight each day. Hitting this can make a huge difference in preserving that precious muscle.
Okay, on to our second pillar, movement. Diet is what drives the fat loss, for sure. But the right kind of exercise is what accelerates the process and helps make sure you're losing the right kind of weight, which is fat, not muscle.
The smartest approach is a combination of two things. On one hand, you have resistance training, lifting weights. This builds and maintains muscle, which boosts your metabolism even when you're resting. On the other hand, you have cardio and high-intensity interval training, or HIIT. These are fantastic for burning calories, and crucially, studies show they are particularly good at reducing that dangerous visceral fat.
So why are we so obsessed with muscle? Well, as Dr. Eric Trexler points out, when you lose muscle during a diet, your hunger levels can actually increase, and it makes you way more likely to regain all the weight back as fat later on. Think of lifting weights as your insurance policy for keeping the weight off for good.
So you've got your diet locked in, you're exercising consistently, but maybe you've hit a wall. If that's the case, it's time we look at some of the hidden saboteurs that could be holding you back.
Everybody, meet cortisol. It's your body's main stress hormone. And when you are chronically stressed out, your cortisol levels stay elevated. And what does cortisol do? It basically sends a signal to your body telling it to store fat, specifically right around your midsection. And this creates a really nasty chain reaction. You've got chronic stress, which leads to high cortisol. That high cortisol then cranks up your appetite, especially for sugary, fatty foods, and then your body takes those extra calories and preferentially stores them as, you guessed it, visceral fat. It's a vicious cycle.
So what's one of the biggest, most common, and often most overlooked things that jacks up our cortisol levels?
A lack of sleep. It's a huge one. A 2022 study did something pretty wild. They took healthy adults and restricted their sleep to just 4 hours a night. The result? After only 2 weeks, they saw an 11% increase in that dangerous visceral fat. Poor sleep directly tells your body to store fat in your abdomen. It's that powerful.
And here's the kicker. You can't just out-diet bad sleep. Another study put people on the exact same calorie deficit diet. The group that was sleep-deprived lost less fat and more muscle than the well-rested group. The takeaway here is massive. Sleep is not a luxury. It is a non-negotiable requirement for effective fat loss.
All right, we've talked diet, we've talked exercise, we've talked about the hidden saboteurs, but there's one final piece of the puzzle that really determines whether or not you'll actually succeed in the long run.
And this can be a tough pill to swallow, but it is the truth. For the vast majority of people, your belly is the last place the fat will come off. You'll see progress in your arms, your legs, your face, everywhere else first. This is totally normal, and it does not mean your plan isn't working.
This quote from Lauren Conlin just says it all perfectly. Recognize that you're usually quitting right before it gets good. That moment when you're the most frustrated, when you feel like giving up, that's often just before the big changes are about to happen. You have to have the patience to push through that plateau.
So let's put it all together. Here is your science-backed checklist. You need to be in a consistent calorie deficit. You need to prioritize protein and fiber. You need to combine weight training with cardio. You have to manage your stress. You absolutely must get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. And maybe most importantly, you have to be patient.
Look, the science on this is actually really clear. There are no magic pills, there are no secret ab exercises. It all comes down to being consistent with these fundamental principles, day in and day out. The plan is right here in front of you. So the only question left is, are you ready to commit to it?